Good evening, students, counselors, families. Thank you so much for joining the StriveScan and Illinois IACAC Virtual College Exploration for all Illinois students. A few housekeeping items before we begin. First and foremost, you're encouraged to ask questions throughout this session via the Q&A button that you see on your screen. When you submit a question, it gets sent to all of our panelists. They'll work to answer the question during the session and at the conclusion of the session. As a reminder, your camera and your microphone are turned off. The panelists cannot see or hear you, so any questions you have, type them in through the Q&A. This is one of about 300 sessions that are being offered through the Illinois program. So we encourage you to go to IACAC.org and sign up for additional sessions. Some of these institutions today are doing their own individual information session. So this is just a sampling, but you can learn about their own individual institutions through the rest of the program as well. And the recording will also be living at IACAC.org. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to our panelists.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Zach. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We were just talking about the Zoom fatigue that is hitting us all, so we really appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in on this late Wednesday evening. So today's presentation is going to be a little bit different maybe than others you've seen in the past. It's going to be panel style, and we're going to alternate taking turns talking about different words or phrases that represent kind of unique experiences that happen either on our campuses or in the surrounding areas. So we hope that you enjoy that, and we look forward to chatting with you more in the Q&A at the end of the presentation. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to Caroline to introduce herself, and we'll all introduce ourselves and then get started with the presentation.
Thanks, Sarah. Hey, you guys. Like she said, my name is Caroline Walker. I'm one of our admissions counselors at Furman University. Thank you guys so much for joining. We're really excited to share some fun information about each of our universities.
Hey everybody, my name is Piyush Kumar. I'm from Rhodes College. I also graduated from Rhodes in 2017. Happy to be here tonight.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brooke Adams, and I am an admission counselor for Rollins College, which is down in Winter Park, Florida. I've been working there about 6 years, and before that, I was a student there. So happy to chat with you all this evening.
Hello there. My name is Reese Jameson. I am the Sewanee representative for Chicago. I am also a graduate from Sewanee, graduated 2019, so I'm fresh off the heels of being a Sewanee student, so I'm happy to be with y'all. Sarah?
Awesome. And I'm Sarah Yacino. I am at Trinity University. I was also a student there. I graduated in 2016 and then again in 2018, and now I'm back as a staff member, so they just can't get rid of me there. So we're going to go ahead and dive into the presentation. We hope you enjoy.
So the way we are doing this presentation, we're going to throw up some words or phrases on the screen, and then the representative from the college that owns that word is going to kind of explain it to you. So I have the privilege of kicking us off. SPARC Day is a Rollins word. At Rollins, our mission is really to create global citizens and responsible leaders. So the responsible leadership part of that mission starts with SPARC Day. It's our annual day of service that starts during orientation. All new students with their peer mentors and their RAs and their faculty will go out and participate in some sort of community service with one of our community partners right here in Orlando. So it's a great way to do some community service right off the bat. We return to campus that evening, kind of share a meal together, talk about what service you did and what community partner you are working with. So it's also a really great way to get to know the Central Florida area right away. And so we hope this will kind of spark a passion or an excitement in you to continue that service throughout the rest of your 4 years.
Alrighty, so the domain. Sewanee is in a very unique position as we are in Southeast Tennessee on the Cumberland Plateau. And so the domain is how we talk about our campus. Our campus up on the mountain is 13,000 acres. And so we call it the domain as more of a familiar name for the place in which we live and learn. And so big part of being a Sewanee student, being a member of our community is very much at the forefront. And so living on the domain, you have access to our SOP, our outing program. And with the outing program, they host student trips throughout the week to go caving, mountain biking, kayaking, you name it, rock climbing as well, all across the board. And so students can rent equipment out of the SOP and so on and so forth. And so another great part about living on the domain is most of your faculty live here as well. And so you'll see them out on campus walking their dogs, and they're more than happy to meet with you outside of class at Sterling's coffee shop and so on and so forth. So.
All right, upstate, that is a Furman word. And upstate refers to the part of South Carolina where Furman is. So the state of South Carolina, if you can kind of visualize it, is divided up into 3 different kind of geographic locations. So low country is where Charleston is. The Midlands is where Columbia, South Carolina is. And then the upstate, that's where Greenville, South Carolina is, and Furman is in Greenville. So the upstate is absolutely beautiful. We sit on the foothills of the Blue Ridge mountain ranges. So Furman is very close to all the hiking, biking, camping, river fishing you could ever want. It's absolutely gorgeous. And then we also are just 5 miles north of the city of Greenville, which is an up and coming city. There's so much to offer, a ton of amazing restaurants, always a new place to try. And it's just 5 miles from campus, and you can have a car on campus all 4 years. So it's very accessible to get to all of those hiking trails and those restaurants in downtown Greenville. So that's our home, that's the upstate.
On a mission, this is a Trinity phrase. And it's a bit of a pun because we're located in San Antonio, Texas. And if you know anything about San Antonio, you've probably heard of the Alamo, which is one of the many missions that we have here in San Antonio that are just beautiful historic sites to go and explore. But the other side of this phrase, I think it has multiple meanings, is that if you were to come and just sit on Trinity's campus and observe our students and just watch their behavior, they're super busy. We kind of have to rein Trinity students back in because they tend to want to do all of the things just naturally. And so our students are super bright and really successful. When I was a Trinity student, I was just kind of amazed at what our students could accomplish as far as undergraduate research and internships and presenting at international conferences. But what I was most impressed about in observing Trinity students is their desire to be a part of something meaningful. They obviously are doing, all of their own amazing things, but what's really important to them is that it's positively benefiting other people. They're super passionate about social justice and just wanting to make the world a little bit better. And one of my favorite ways that Trinity students do this is by participating in something that's called Hope Hall. It's one of our living and learning communities on campus, and it stands for Homelessness Outreach Pursuing Education. And the idea is that if you decide to live there, not only are you living with this great community of people, but you are all agreeing to commit 3 to 5 hours of community service towards helping the problem of homelessness each week. And so it's just a really cool way to give back to the San Antonio community.
All right, Bluff City is a Rhodes College word, and it refers to the city of Memphis, which is a really important part of our identity. For our campus, we're located in a nice neighborhood kind of area with trees surrounding it, so it doesn't feel like you're in a city, but just 6 minutes down the road, you'll be in the city of Memphis, Tennessee. And something that we really want our students to do is we want our students to utilize the fact that we're located in a major city. So we do that in a variety of ways through connecting students with service opportunities and also internships in the city with major companies like FedEx, St. Jude, ServiceMaster, things like that. But we also want our students to enjoy the city and have fun in the city. So we do that through something called the Big Deal Program. Basically what we do is we go buy tickets to major events in the city. So Grizzlies games, Broadway tickets at the Orpheum Theater, comedy show tickets, and then we give them to our students for free or for $5 so that you can go and enjoy the city and have a good time. So Bluff City is a really important part of who we are. Memphis commonly says that they rely on Rhodes, and we commonly say we rely on Memphis. So it's definitely something that we want our students to engage in and enjoy.
All right, here's me again. Guaranteed access, that's another Furman word. Guaranteed access refers to a set of promises that Furman makes for its students. We want to make sure that every student coming through Furman gets the absolute most out of their 4 years. And so we guarantee access to experiences outside of the classroom. So those include research, internships, and study away opportunities. So all 3 of those you have guaranteed access to as a Furman student. So not only do we just have these opportunities, but every single student is guaranteed the opportunity to take advantage of these. Over 92% of our students will do either a research project, an internship, or a study away program during their time at Furman. So these are highly, highly taken advantage of. We love that. We love our students being engaged and getting out there. We don't want Furman to be so much of a bubble where our students only know other Furman people. We want to get you guys out in the world and trying new things. So whether that is through a research project, getting an internship, or studying the world and going abroad, we want to make sure that we're guaranteeing those experiences for you guys, so the doors are wide open.
The Riverwalk and Beyond. This is another San Antonio and Trinity word. So another thing, if you've heard about San Antonio at all, is probably going to be the Riverwalk. It is a very touristy destination, but there's so much more to San Antonio to explore. We're the 7th largest city in the nation, and I feel like that stat still surprises me even after living here for over a decade, because we kind of have what I like to call the Goldilocks effect of feeling like a large town. San Antonio to me does not feel like it's like too much hustle and bustle. When I go to other cities like Chicago or Dallas, like I'm always stressed about traffic, and I do not feel that way in San Antonio. But we still do have all of the same offerings that you would hope for from a big city in terms of professional sports teams and Broadway shows and music and art and culture and museums on every corner, and fantastic food, which is probably my personal favorite thing. So San Antonio just has so much to offer. Trinity University is located about 5 minutes from downtown. I think similar to Rhodes, we're located in this really nice historic neighborhood. There's not roads running through campus, so it does feel really contained and really personal. But if you're eager to get off campus, it's only 5 minutes to downtown. And then in addition to all of those fun things that I shared, you also, it's just so convenient and practical. It's in terms of internships or jobs, you're so close to downtown where there's just tons of opportunities awaiting you.
All right, Fox Day is one of my favorite things to talk about when it comes to Rollins. It's our favorite tradition that we have on campus, happens every year, but it's a surprise day, so we never know when exactly Fox Day is going to be. It happens in the spring, sometime between spring break and final exams, so it's something to look forward to at the end of the year. And it's just a day where the president of the college determines that it's just too beautiful outside to have class. So he rolls out a statue of a fox, puts it on the main lawn of campus around 6 a.m. And then students know that it's Fox Day and that all classes have been canceled for the day. So there's just so much to do on campus or in Orlando, or you could take off and go to the beach or one of the theme parks for the day. So there's just so much camaraderie and spirit around Fox Day. We all return to campus at the end of the day, no matter where you ended up going, and share kind of a barbecue together with all the students, faculty, and staff, so it feels like this big family barbecue, and it's just a really fun and exciting day. Students try to guess when it's going to be every year, so we'll have students who camp out on the lawn with their tents or their hammocks and try to guess if it's going to be Fox Day, so they're either burned the next morning and have to get up and go to class, or they celebrate because it's Fox Day.
All right, so the pledge. This very much falls in line with one of Swanee's many traditions. So we are an Episcopal institution, and so part of having that tradition is to have an honor code. And so the honor code is super simple. Don't lie, cheat, or steal. And you're making a promise to us to live in our community with us. And so we felt like we need to also make some promises to you, and that comes in the form of the Swanee Pledge. And so the Swanee Pledge is 3 promises. The first promise is that you will graduate in 4 years with your major. The second promise is that you will be funded for an internship or a research opportunity while you're at Swanee. And then the final pillar is that you will have access to a semester-long study away program at no additional tuition cost while you're here at Swanee. And so those 3 promises are huge parts of our campus. 60% of our students study away in their time here. We're partnered with Rhodes for one of our biggest study away trips, European studies, and students take full advantage of all of the sorts of places they can go. I had friends of mine who went out to Japan, who went to Chile, and plenty of other places too. That's also fulfilled by our Career Center on campus. And so the Career Center is staffed by 6 full-time members whose job it is to make sure you're putting your best foot forward out in the professional world. And so they help students with putting together resumes, tips and tricks on writing cover letters, and then getting in touch with Swanee alumni who are all over the place. So.
All right, St. Jude is a Rhodes word, and as many of you may know, St. Jude is headquartered in Memphis, Tennessee. And this is really big for us because we have a very strong partnership with St. Jude itself. And in a lot of ways, they do a lot for us, and we do a lot for them. They allow us to send students to them for internship opportunities, research opportunities, and labs, things like that. And they've had a lot of students come by and say, hey, if you have any spots open for me, we'd gladly do it. So a lot of opportunities for our students to work at St. Jude, which is great. We also partner with them for the St. Jude Marathon, and we do a lot of fundraising for them and also kind of organizing for the St. Jude Marathon. And just having that kind of, again, 5 minutes down the road is very useful for our students. Volunteering at St. Jude is always something that a lot of people want to be able to do in their lives. So our students have direct access to that. And I can myself say that, when I worked at St. Jude, when I was a Rhodes student, that was one of the most fulfilling experiences that I had while I was there. So just having St. Jude nearby Rhodes College campus is something that's really important to us. And chances are, while you're at Rhodes, you will be interacting with St. Jude in some way. So definitely something to look forward to.
Constructive collisions. So that's a nice alliteration here. Another Trinity word. This phrase was originally coined when we were constructing one of our buildings on campus called the Center for the Sciences and Innovation. It was a $127 million project. And basically this building houses all of the sciences that we have on campus. And constructive collisions came about because they were envisioning that students who were engineers and majoring in biology and neuroscience would all be working together, because really that's what happens in the real world, is that you're not siloed, just working with your own teams. You're constantly pulling from contractors and experts and reading other people's research and really wanting lots of different perspectives on what you're doing. And so this also applies, I think, to so many Trinity things. If you were to ask a Trinity student, what are you passionate about? What are you studying? What are you majoring in? They're usually not going to tell you one thing. They're going to tell you multiple things. We have about a third of our students who will double major. And sometimes you get really, really interesting combinations that don't seem to really fit well together. For example, chemistry and art. Like at first glance, you'd be like, how exactly do you merge those two things? One of my favorite examples was a friend that I met freshman year, who was this brilliant computer science student. But he discovered early on that he also loved ancient Greek. And whereas at other institutions, they may kind of question, what exactly are you going to do with that? How are you going to bridge that gap? At Trinity, he was able to do research the summer after his freshman year with one of our classics professors, where he was able to write an algorithm that was meant to decode ancient Greek characters that a Byzantine scribe had written that were kind of hard to read. So early on in the game, he was able to find a way to really connect the things that he cared about. And that very much is an example of how interdisciplinary Trinity is and how flexible these constructive collisions can be.
All right, laking, that's another Furman word. So if you guys look up any photos of Furman, just Google Furman and you'll see pictures of our beautiful lake. It's something we're proud of. That beautiful bell tower is a Furman staple. There's trails all around the lake, so our Furman students definitely take advantage of just the outdoor space that we have on campus. But laking refers to our tradition where your friends actually throw you into the lake on your birthday. So regardless of what month it is, I feel really bad for students who have birthdays in January. It's a little cold in South Carolina at that time. But you're thrown in the lake. Your friends are not supposed to tell you when they're going to do it. They just have to somehow get you in there. So that's a fun Furman tradition that's called laking.
So here is a very unique Swanee tradition here. Well, it's two traditions really. One is an old story and the other is an academic tradition we have. So angel in a gown. To explain the angel bit, so Swanee being an Episcopal institution, we've got an old story that says long before people were on the earth, angels inhabited the mountain. And so a unique Swanee tradition is when students, families or faculty are leaving campus, once they cross the gates of campus, they tap the roof of their car to pick up their Swanee angel. And that Swanee angel will protect them everywhere they go out in the world. Once they come back, they tap the roof of their car again, dropping their angel off so they can go and have fun with all their friends. And so it's definitely something that every one of my friends and I do every time we leave campus. And it's definitely a pretty big signal of being a Swanee student. And we love that tradition. And so The gown bit is our Order of the Gown, the Academic Honor Society on campus. And so I don't know if any of you have seen the very niche movie Harry Potter. I don't think anyone's ever seen it before, but we have gowns that are very similar to those robes. And so once you achieve a certain GPA in one of your 4 years here at Sewanee, you're invited to the Order of the Gown. And this tradition's been going on for almost 100 years at this point. And so a lot of these gowns are passed down through the generations to different families, and some of them, the lineages are started here. I was the first in my family to be a Sewanee grad, and hopefully one day I might pass mine on. But unique to these gowns, some of them have stitchings on the back with initials and class years. Some of them are tattered. They've been stepped on and dragged through doors and things. And so you'll see faculty and students all the time wearing their gowns on campus as a symbol of, you know, their academic achievements. So.
Global citizenship is a Rollins word. If you remember at the very beginning, I mentioned that our mission statement is to create global citizens and responsible leaders. So there are a lot of ways to become a global citizen. First and foremost, just being a part of the Rollins student body. You're going to be part of a very diverse group of students who come from all over the globe, all different walks of life, cultures, backgrounds. So you're going to learn from your peers in that way. Also, we try to be pretty strategic about our course offerings. So you can take classes in international business, international relations, foreign languages, all sorts of different things that will just kind of naturally broaden your horizons. But one of the most impactful ways I think to become a global citizen is to study abroad. And at Rollins, at least 77% of our students will study abroad at least once before they graduate, which is a huge percentage of our student body. So I think that really exemplifies how much Rollins encourages our students to study abroad and how easy we try to make it for you to go if that's what you want to do. Any financial aid or scholarships that you have will travel with you abroad. So the cost to study in, say, Shanghai for 3 months would be the exact same cost as it would be if you were to be on campus for those 3 months. So really cool opportunities, and you'll definitely leave with a global mindset when you graduate.
Cool. So the bridge is another Rhodes word, and it is an example of one of the many service opportunities that we have at Rhodes. Rhodes is nationally known as one of the most service-minded schools in the country, so that's without any kind of requirement too. So our students want to make a difference and an impact in the city of Memphis. So the bridge is actually an entirely student-created newspaper that is given out to the Memphis community using members of the homeless community as salesmen so that they can get a source of income. So it directly benefits them, and it's something that a lot of our students take part in. Even if they're not, journalism interested or, interested in writing, there's a lot of different things that you can do for the bridge to help out with the service opportunity. It's coordinated through Kinney, which is our service for kind of getting students interested in service and also helping them find what's right for them. So really all you need to do is go to them and say, hey, these are my interests. What kind of opportunities can I have? With 1,300 nonprofits in Memphis, there's a lot of opportunity out there. So definitely based on what you're interested in, we can find something for you. I know when I was a student, I worked with Street Dog Foundation, so I helped connect dogs with homes that they were looking for. So, just getting them into adoptable homes was something that was really fulfilling to me. And it was just one example of something that I did while I was there. So the sky is the limit in terms of finding service opportunities, and it's something that I think a lot of our students really enjoy doing, even if they don't realize it now. It is something that they grow to love.
So this takes us to the end of our formal presentation, but we would love to keep the conversation going with you all. So we just wanted to take a moment to share our contact information and also our general visit sites that you're more than welcome to check out. We are so happy to for you to reach out to us. So please don't be shy if you have questions. We're more than happy to connect. I'll leave it here while we take a look at the Q&A. So if you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to type those into the Q&A and we'll be more than happy to answer those.
As you all think about and type in some questions for us, maybe we could go through and each of us mention kind of the different visit opportunities that we're having on campus, either in person or virtually. So Caroline, you want to kick us off?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a good idea. So we are doing a lot of virtual events. So kind of pick and choose which ones sound the best to you. So we're doing high school visits. So hopefully I have the chance to visit individually with your high school through Zoom, offering virtual visits that way. We're also doing regional events. So we are kind of dividing up the whole country into different regions. So we have one specifically for the Midwest that is coming up. So definitely check out our website and see the exact date and time for our Midwest event. So that will be a panel set up. We have some current students and some Furman alumni who are from the Midwest to talk to you guys about what it's like to come down to South Carolina and how their experience was, and then also for our alumni, how Furman helped them. We're also doing career-specific events. So if you guys know maybe what you're hoping to study, what you're hoping to do after you graduate from college, I know that probably sounds like it's so far away, but if you do have those goals and you know what you want to study, we're doing career-specific events. So just for example, we're doing one oriented towards pre-health, so pre-med careers, pre-law, entertainment and fine arts, business, et cetera, et cetera. There's so many, but they're all on the website, so definitely check it out.
Yeah, and at Rhodes, very similarly to I think all of us, we have a lot of virtual visits that are available to our students. On our website, we kind of have a guided tour as well that you can take, so you can get a feel for what it's like walking on our campus. I know all of us have very, very beautiful campuses, so just visiting is something that's really important. So we want to do our best to try and convey that, even though it's through a virtual medium. So we have a virtual tour that you can take. We also have webinars for special interests as well. So students interested in the health professions, studying abroad, financial aid, things like that that students are interested in. We're doing webinars for those as well. And yeah, but we're also doing on-campus visits for a limited numbers of families every day, just maintaining social distance. And we spent a long time kind of developing what that will look like. But that is also on our website, so you can sign up for those as well. We have student tour guides that are also doing virtual tours and on-campus tours as well. So we're doing our best to maintain what it means to visit Rhodes and trying to keep that like it used to be. But definitely something that I hope kind of clears up soon and we can get back to normal.
Yeah, similar to my colleagues, Rollins is doing much of the same, virtual high school visits. We have virtual tours of the campus, info sessions. We're going to be doing virtual open houses. And then we do have a Midwest prospective student reception. So I'll be bringing a faculty member as well as an alum with me for that Zoom meeting. So keep your eyes out on your email for those. The visit page that you see listed here has all of the virtual opportunities, as well as some in-person opportunities. Just like Rhodes, we've kind of slowly and very, very individually opened up our campus tours again. So if you're feeling cooped up and you want to come down to Orlando, come on down, visit us. We're more than happy to host you on campus. And then we also kicked off a webinar series that's a little less specific to Rollins and more just about the college application process in general. So if you're feeling a little overwhelmed at this point, feel free to tune in. Pretty much twice a month, we offer a different webinar that's going to be focused on some different aspect of the application process. So again, keep your eye on your email and check out that rollins.edu/visit page.
Yeah, so Swanee has a host of virtual visit options, as do the rest of us. And so that includes information sessions. That includes, we have virtual tours with students who will take you around campus. And they've got a nice little, I don't even know what to call it, a little mechanical arm there so they can stabilize their phone and really get to talk to students about all these different buildings on campus. We've also got plenty of virtual counselor appointments. So that's one-on-one time with your admission counselor. It's not a formal interview at all. It's simply just a conversation to get to know you. Because as do my peers here, we read all of our applications and we like to get to know our students. And so in addition, we have our YSR events, which is you'll have to join to find out, a Swanee phrase that we say. It's part of an old fight song that we have. And they are hosted all over the United States. So Midwest, we've got we've got a Carolina session. We have the South as well as the Pacific. So plenty going on for sure in the virtual world for us all. So.
Awesome. And as far as Trinity's visiting options, we have both virtual and on campus. As far as virtual, like a lot of my colleagues have said, we're offering high school visits, virtual information sessions multiple times a week, tours, different types of tours, one where it's kind of self-led, others where it's led by students, so you get to hear, as you would on campus, you know, their personal anecdotes and that kind of thing. We also have open house programs where it's kind of great. It's like one-stop shopping where you get to hear from admissions counselors, from faculty, from current students, and those are held on a couple different Saturdays throughout the year. But we also are on campus. So if you are interested in coming to San Antonio, know that we will welcome you with open arms and happily show you our campus. And then the last thing that I would just mention are interviews. Since some of you may be applying and working through the application process, this is a great way to add kind of a more personal touch to your application, because we know this process sometimes can feel really impersonal. We do emphasize that these are low stress. It's 30 minutes, we sit down, and really these are just a chance for us to get to know you better and kind of get some context and understand, you know, your story, your vision for the future, and add that component to your application as well. So don't hesitate to reach out if you're interested in that opportunity as well. So I will go ahead and take us to our very last slide, just to give you a little sense of who we are, the phrases that we said, where we're located, and the different platforms that we use for our applications, so you guys have access to that. And if we have a shy bunch and we don't get any questions, we can ask ourselves questions. Anyone have a question they would like to answer for themselves?
I think all 5 of us on here are test optional, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yes.
That's probably one of the biggest questions I've gotten this cycle, since that's something different. Not all of us have been test optional for a long time. This is, you know, a change that we've made given, you know, the circumstances that we're in, that so many students have not had the opportunity to test. Do y'all want to talk about if there's any like nuances or questions related to test optional that you're getting?
Yeah, I think a lot of students are curious, with that being the case, how are we as an institution kind of discerning scholarship and things like that, since that used to be something that we used to consider for that. We've been pretty open in saying that, you know, we're going to look at your GPA, how you're performing in those classes. Are you taking rigorous courses if your school offers them? But we're also putting a little bit of it more emphasis on the essay, because that is your space to kind of show your writing ability and choose a unique topic that is pertinent to you. So like all of us here, we use a holistic process where we take a lot into account when we admit our students. That is something that's going to help us kind of be more in line in terms of discerning scholarship and things like that. But we want to make sure that everyone's on an equal playing field, especially students that can access tests because of everything going on. So this is probably going to benefit a lot of students, and we're excited to see kind of what happens as a result.
So one of the most common questions that I get if I'm at college fairs, which we've done a couple virtual so far, is students who are just kind of like entering this process and not really knowing where to begin tend to ask, like, what programs are you known for? What's the most popular major at your school? And I know that's a hard question to answer, because students at all of our universities, you know, pursue so many different things. So I often give kind of a generic answer about, like, there's not like one thing that you should come here to do. But if you had to talk about your academic offerings and anything that you want to highlight at your university, what would you say?
So for Rollins, we're pretty well known for our business programs. We offer responsible business management, international business, and social entrepreneurship. And then we have the Crummer Graduate School of Business on our campus. So that's the #1 business school in the South. So it's a really great place to consider getting your MBA from. And so because they're on our campus, we offer a 3-2 accelerated management program with them where you can complete your MBA in 5 years. So I think that's sometimes what puts us on the map, especially for students coming from out of state. But we still offer all of the STEM fields. Biology would be our next most popular major. And then psychology, economics, education's really big at Rollins, music. So really students are kind of studying whatever they want, but business seems to be the most popular.
Yeah, at Rhodes, we're known for our pre-health fields that our students are genuinely interested in. Kind of, it may not be medicine, but it could be a wide variety of things. Last year, our acceptance rate to medical schools was 91%, and this is to your top 3 choice schools too. So definitely for the schools that you really want to go to, we have a good track record of sending you there. Also, we, all above 95% are, going to veterinary school, optometry schools, things like that. So that's something for a lot of students kind of know us for is our pre-health aspect to it. And that's definitely something that I also took part in when I was a student. And one thing that I really appreciated was the support that you get the entire way through. And, I'm sure all of us here, have staff that help our students that in tremendous ways where you can focus on your academics and athletics going on, but having an entire staff that can kind of advise you for pre-med and pre-health options really does help a lot. So we do a good job of kind of connecting with our students and making sure they have everything that they need. We also offer an MCAT prep course that is taught completely by Rhodes professors. So if you're used to the way Rhodes professors teach and that discussion style learning is something that you really enjoy, we teach you an MCAT course topics through that medium as well. So it's something our students really appreciate. So that is most likely something that a lot of students really kind of want to pursue. And then right after that, business is something that we also have on our campus, and we also have a master's program for business that our students can go directly into as soon as they finish their undergrad.
Just to follow that a little bit, Furman is also known for pre-health. A lot of our students choose that track, and specifically pre-med is a track at Furman. It's not a major, so you can be any major at Furman while on the pre-med track. So if you have an interest in music or English, you could be an English major on the pre-med track. Just making sure you get those prerequisites in before applying to med school. This past year, our chemistry majors who were on the pre-med track had a 92% acceptance rate into medical schools. So similar there, just the advising and the mentorship programs at Furman and making sure you're not just figuring it out by yourself. There's going to be somebody there to help guide you through the process. So hopefully that doesn't sound too overwhelming or that you have to have your life figured out at this point. At any of our schools, just know there is support. And we want to make sure that our students are well taken care of their 4 years, and then they make sure they have a place to go after. So pre-med and pre-health, we also have a great business department. Psychology and pre-law tend to be really popular at Furman as well.
I think one thing that's pretty important to kind of talk about, we're all schools located in the South, and that's something that, watching this, you probably noticed, we're all located in the South, but we all get students from the entire United States, and it's something that, no matter which campus you go to, you're going to get students from all over the place. You're going to be meeting people from a wide variety of backgrounds and beliefs, and that's something that really does improve the student body as a whole. And so something to kind of consider when you're looking at liberal arts schools and smaller colleges is something that you'll be meeting a lot of people from a lot of places. So, even though we're all located in the South, it is something that is unique to the way we kind of do things.
Well, y'all, looks like we just have a couple more minutes, so I'm gonna ask one more question for ourselves to answer, and then I think we'll wrap it up. And so that would be either as a staff member or as a student. The question to y'all is, what is your favorite thing about your university?
Well, I would definitely say at Sewanee, one of the things that I appreciated most was my relationship with my professors. So I am definitely fortunate enough to call some of the professors I had here some of my good friends. As a matter of fact, I went on a walk with one of my English professors this past weekend, actually, and he and I walked with his dog, Rory, around campus and had a good conversation about life and everything that's going on. And so having those sort of close-knit relationships is something that I definitely absolutely loved about Suwannee, because here on the mountain, we are living in a community with each other. There are no freshman-only dorms. You'll be living with upperclassmen all 4 years, and getting to know as many or as little as people as you want. So it's definitely a very special place for me.
That's awesome. I think I'll piggyback off of that because my answer is always very similar. I feel like it's cheating because it captures so much, but it's the people. The people drew me into Trinity from the time that I was 16 years old and just a prospective student. From the moment that I stepped onto campus, I felt seen. I guess there's just not a better way to kind of explain that. But every interaction that I had, whether if it was with my tour guide or with the professor that I met, I just felt like they were so sincere and really took the time to learn about me and connecting with other people. I remember I used to go on Trinity's campus as a prospective student because I was already living in San Antonio for choir concerts because I was a big choir nerd. And I would always go up to the choir director after the concerts and just fangirl and say what an amazing job they had done. And after about 2 times of doing that, the choir director, Dr. Safeman, learned my name and would greet me by name when I went to the concerts. And I was, a 16-year-old sophomore in high school. So just those kinds of interactions. And I've seen that throughout my entire experience at Trinity, both undergrad, in my master's, and now as a staff member, that we're just so student-centered and we really do care and lift each other up. It's very collaborative and not competitive. So I would say that people are absolutely my favorite thing about Trinity.
Well, it seems we all have the same answers, because that's typically what I would say. Just to shake it up and change my answer a little bit, where Furman is absolutely gorgeous. So for me personally, I grew up in Central Florida. Wanted to get out of the state at least for 4 years, so I found Furman, graduated, and never left. There's really something special about the Carolinas, and Greenville specifically is such a fun city. So many fun things to do, and then we're also so close to the mountains. So for me, it's the place and the people.
Yeah, at this point, I feel obligated to say professors because I want you all to know that, we do have really good professors and great relationships with our professors as well. So that's definitely something that's big for me. I think the opportunity as well. I think just being in a big city and having opportunity in the city, but also just, be able to go abroad when you want to and making sure that it works to your schedule, because we want to make sure that something that gets figured out. Research opportunities, if you want to work at St. Jude, if you want to work at Le Bon or Children's, opportunities in there as well. So I think as a student, when I went there, I was actually there were so many options for me to partake in. So that's something that I really appreciated, was I really got my choice to kind of choose things and kind of craft my way through college, through stuff that genuinely interested me. And then on top of that, I think finally having an NBA team to support, I think that was a big win for me. So coming from a small town, just finally having the Memphis Grizzlies to cheer for was really, really great experience. So I definitely took a lot of opportunity from the Big Deal program. Got a lot of those free tickets, so definitely something a lot of our students do. So
I have nothing new to say. I'm the same. My professors really made my Rollins experience for me. I didn't mention originally that I am from the Midwest. I'm from Lake Geneva, Wisconsin, which a lot of you from Illinois probably know where that is. And so when I made the move to Orlando, I didn't really know anybody. I don't have any family down here or anything. So I wanted to make sure that I found a campus where I felt like I was cared for and family-like, and that's definitely what I got at Rollins. I'm the oldest of this group, so I can still say that even 6 years out, I would consider a lot of my old professors to be my mentors still. When I need life advice, they're my go-tos. I actually just reached out to one of my old professors today, and so it lasts with you even well beyond your graduation.
Awesome. Thank you all. I think we are right at time, so we're going to go ahead and let y'all get back to the rest of your evenings, but thank you so much for joining us. And if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Thank you so much for sharing this information. Students and counselors, thank you for joining us. As you close this window, a very quick 4-question survey will appear. We ask for your feedback. We encourage you to check out the other schedule at iacac.org and also check out the recordings of this session and all the other sessions at iacac.org. This program runs through the end of October, so we encourage you to check out the website for more sessions. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye.